Hello, everyone, and welcome to Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin, and today I'll be talking about my experience at Wondercon this past weekend and kind of just sharing some photos and videos and some of the stuff that I purchased while I was there. But before we get started, if you're not already, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this channel. I try to do live streams once a month, and also follow my podcasts on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, excuse me, called Really Old Movies, where I do a weekly podcast talking about old films released between 1890 and 1965. But again, thank you all so much for coming on. And before I get started, so just kind of some background. So growing up, I loved reading comic books, loved watching movies, that sort of thing. And my dad, he's the one who really got me into it. And it's with him that I actually get to go to conventions every single year. I go and help him out on his booth. I help sell the products and whatnot. But then also I get to walk around on the floor and check out some cool things. So that's how I get to WonderCon, San Diego Comic-Con, all these other conventions. And so, yeah, why don't we go ahead and jump right into it? I got a lot of photos here. And so this is my dad's booth here, actually. And this is the various art that he does. His name's Patrick Scullin. And he's got fan art. He's got his own books, his own comics series called Super Siblings. But basically, that's what we do. We go there, we help sell some of his products, and and this year actually he started doing a new thing with stickers, and those are a huge hit. But yeah, that's kind of been my experience going to Comic-Con every single year. Is just through his booth and just helping him out there, and it's great. I love doing it. And so next photo here. So these are all kind of random, I should mention, just kind of random stuff I saw in the 2 days I was there. So if you saw the new Black Panther movie, this is some of the characters in that, some really, really cool costumes. And if you've never been to Comic-Con before, it's basically a nerd convention where you see a lot of movie stuff, a lot of comic book stuff. And so that's what's cool is you get to see really cool costumes that the people do there. And these are really, really impressive. All right. So that's me and my wife, Lexi. So we took a picture in front of the banner that they have there. I'm actually wearing a Really Old Movies t-shirt. And we both had a great time. This was her second time going to WonderCon. So it was really, really fun. And she's really into D&D. So a lot of the pictures in here are some really cool D&D stuff that she looked at. And what was cool about the top row here is these ones actually had some lights inside of it to make them glow and all of that. That was really, really cool. And then these bottom ones were just really cool, green color and blue colors and whatnot. But yeah, it was great. A lot of cool stuff. There was probably 20 or 30 different D&D-esque tables. So it was really cool. And we had a great time with So here's another one, same booth. They got a really cool booklet here. Some cards. And then also there's some really cool pins there. A lot of like these little cutesy ones. These are a lot of Star Wars ones. So you got like Boba Fett, Baby Yoda, and whatnot. That was really cool. Seeing all the different designs. And what's cool is at this one specifically, they have it divided up where you have what's called small press, where there's a lot of vendors who are selling books, that sort of thing, if you've ever been published. And then there's Artist Alley, where it's artists doing a lot of fan art and whatnot. And where we were at, where my dad's booth was at, we were at the small press area. But it's just really cool. You kind of walk around in a little bit of a horseshoe shape around the area, and you can see all the different booths, the different artist styles. And that's what's really fun about Comic-Con, is just seeing what people have created and just how creative people can really be. And here's another thing at the D&D booth. I don't know if you can really tell here, but these are like rolling bags that are made out of leather so that you can roll your dice inside of it. This one is cool. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, I believe this is the White Tree, if I'm not mistaken, but no admittance to hobbits. But that's what's cool is like these guys made them themselves and they're selling it to people. That's what I love about Comic-Con. You never know the kind of random stuff you're going to find. Some more cool dice. These ones are really cool. I think the top blue and or red and yellow ones, that was my favorite kind, was the metallic looking ones. And they're heavier too. So that was really cool. So, of course, my favorite movie of all time, Casablanca. I saw a poster for it there. And that's another cool thing is some people bring posters, they bring just all kinds of memorabilia like that. So I don't have a that's next picture is me. I guess I don't have another picture of it, but these ones are really, really big. They'd probably cover this one in particular would cover that entire back wall behind me here. So they're really awesome. I at some point I want to get one of those and just have it hanging somewhere. But yeah, this is my favorite movie of all time, and it's always really cool seeing stuff for Casablanca. So that's me in front of a Batman backdrop. There's those cool backdrops for like cosplayers and costumes and whatnot. And I'm repping the DC universe, wearing my DC t-shirt. And so this is all at the Anaheim Convention Center, located not too far from Disneyland, actually, off of Catella Avenue, if you guys know where that is, if you're familiar with the area. You could literally walk to Disneyland, and we actually did that. We had some dinner in not Disney Springs, that's Florida. Oh, what's it called? Downtown Disney. But yeah, I love the area. It's really cool how close they are to each other. All right, again, here's my dad's booth at a different angle. So he's got a lot of Star Wars stuff, a lot of just he does a Patrick Nagel. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he did the Duran Duran Rio poster. So my dad does a lot of fan art in that style, where it's you can kind of see the Princess Leia's eyes peeking up there in the middle there. But yeah, it's a really graphic looking style, really cool for if you're a graphic designer into that sort of art style. Yeah, he does a lot of those. And then, love Hawaiian shirts. So there are tons of these. I love this Mickey Mouse one. And there was also, this is a Star Wars one. You could kind of see there's a Millennium Falcon there. That was really, really cool. And then Jurassic Park, classic. And then this Donald Duck one. Okay, so these are cool. So a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there are some people there who have this booth, have these kind of booths where they created these R2-D2 type droids themselves. And later on, I'll show you guys a video of it where it's just driving around and whatnot. Really, really cool. At another convention my wife and I went to, there was one that was driving around and had a speaker attached to it. So it's really, really cool, the kind of stuff people can do and really creative stuff. All right, so I just thought this was cool. I love that Iron Man costume there. Really impressive stuff. And there's a lot of groups. So there's like the 501st Legion. They create their own costumes. There's kind of more outside of that now. There's a Marvel one now. I think this is one of them. But it's really cool that they get together and do really high quality costumes. Sometimes better than what the movie studios do, honestly. So yeah, it was really cool seeing that. Here's another one of those D&D leather strap things I was talking to you about. This one has the map of Erebor from The Hobbit, the Desolation of Smaug, This one was really, really cool. So here's a statue of Mickey Mouse and of Pinocchio. It's hard to see here, but these guys are about, maybe 2 feet tall. They're pretty big, pretty large statues. So there's another one here with Charlie Brown. Really cool statues. That's another thing, people bring statues. There wasn't sideshow collections. They're a really big one. They weren't here this time, but for sure they'll be at San Diego. And then I thought this was cool. It's a Nosferatu t-shirt, but with Japanese text with blood coming off of it. Thought that was really cool. And then that alien looking one. Not sure what that's from, but I just thought it was really cool. And another picture of that Charlie Brown one. And then here's probably my favorite part of Comic-Con is seeing old comics from various eras, from newer eras to like the current age, to then back to the gold and silver age and Bronze Age of comic books. That's probably one of my favorite parts. So what I love to do is I just go to the booths where it's like the big Comics Guild ones where they're in big plastic cases. That's probably one of my favorite parts is seeing those and just looking at them face to face, So this one here is a Thor, and let's see what we got here. We got Captain America and Falcon, and then below here we got the Secret Wars. I wonder if we got a picture of that. Yeah, so this is a majority of the Secret Wars run, one of my favorite storylines. But yeah, like I said, it's really cool being able to seeing these in person. And just some more like Fantastic Four and Hulk, those different characters, Iron Fist, It's really cool being able to just be up close to them and just seeing what they're worth. Some of them were in thousands of dollars range. It's way out of my budget, of course, but it's just really cool to look at them. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the 501st Legion, these guys do really, really cool Star Wars costumes. I really like that Emperor Palpatine there in the middle. Thought that was really awesome. And then that Darth Maul as well. And they're all really, really cool. And I'm not even much of a Star Wars fan anymore. I just haven't been a fan of it recently. But this still was really cool seeing that and seeing the love and effort these people put into making their costumes. And speaking of that, here's a giant, what's his name? Kylo Ren lightsaber. And I think there's a picture of me next to it later on. Scale. Really cool Boba Fett helmet. Some really cool lightsabers. Some mugs. Here's up close to that Boba Fett helmet. Really, really cool. Yeah, and some Mandalorian stuff. I think those are credits. And then a medallion and a Mandalorian keychain. Pretty cool. And then here we go. So here's me next to it for scale. Just how big that lightsaber was. It was just crazy how tall it was. Here's another cool thing. A Batman poster. Really love that movie. Michael Keaton's a great Batman. And then right next to it, you got the Joker, Jack Nicholson. Fantastic Joker. And then I saw this. I thought it was pretty cool. Ren and Stimpy thing. It's not very often that you see kind of random cartoons like that in toys. I never thought I would ever see a Ren and Stimpy toy, but here you go, right? And you can kind of see behind there's a Stimpy one as well. Yeah, just so random, the kind of stuff you'll find there. Here we go again. So here's a Disney dollar. Oh, I want to say it's for the 60th anniversary of Mickey Mouse. 65th. Yeah, just all kinds of random stuff like that. All right, so here's another cool thing. I love pins. And so a lot of the next few photos here is just tons of pins I saw. So we've got the Golden Girls here. I think that's a Lord of the Rings ring, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, Harry Potter, I think. And then some Disney ones. They're Coca-Cola. Thought they were pretty cool. Some more Disney. And then Thor. And then I really like that Mickey Mouse American flag one. I almost bought that one. Some more Mickey Mouse ones. We got Star Wars and Green Goblin, and I believe that's Loki. Yeah, Loki, Falcon, Mouse. Some Kirby and Cobra Kai, because those belong together, right? Got some more Mickey Mouse ones. I really like these ones because they're the original theatrical posters that they put as a pin. Some more Mickey Mouse ones. I really love the Disney pins, so they had tons of these. Close up on the poster ones. Dracula, Disney princesses, Mickey. Well, these are Wizard of Oz, Iron Man, Captain America, Mennonite. Not sure what that tomato is. And you got Luigi, Three Pigs, their homes. These ones were just cool. I'm not really sure what they are. I just thought they looked really cool. They're those like, I don't know what you call them, but on some houses they have them on top where it just spins around with a different thing on it. These I thought were pretty cool. And then we got the Small World. Okay, so this is really cool. So I found a booth that had some computers at it, and this was a very first Macintosh. So later on, I'll show a video of me playing on it, and also on the other computer that was there, which was an old Commodore. So this thing was cool. I guess before a person who owns it now had it, it used to belong to a Stanford professor, and he used this computer for tracking seismic activity with earthquakes. I just thought that was so cool. But now it's used for uh, Space Invaders. That's what I played on it. So here's a book for that booth. There's a close up of it. Really, really interesting typography and design. I really liked it. Let's see, what's her name again? Rachel Ignatowski. So yeah, she was really cool. Told us a little bit about the book, and like I said, about those computers. Really, really cool. All right, here's another thing. There's always these t-shirt towers. So I always just go around, take a picture of tons of them just to see if I want any of them. There's just so many to choose from. I mean, look at that. It can be a little overwhelming, not gonna lie. They always have some cool Batman ones. Yeah. It's Marvel. Or DC. I mean, where else are you gonna find a Plastic Man and an Aquaman t-shirt, right? Like, only at Comic-Con, right? You never see those at your local stores. So here's another cool poster. This is for The Mummy, the Boris Karloff one. And then a Donald Duck book. I believe this is a Floyd Gottfredson one. Oh, I can't tell. But there were lots of comics back in the day that were really cool, Disney ones. And I believe this is a collection of some. Here's another one. And a Mickey Mouse one. Some more comics. I like a lot of these Batman ones. Got some Masters of the Universe. Some more Batman. If you guys could see in the left there, we got The Dark Knight Returns. That's the full story right there. Then we got Batman Killing Joke, one of the issues of that. There's a couple detective comics there. But I thought it was really cool seeing all of them. I actually have all of them in my collection. They're pretty hard to find. Some really cool Batman ones. And I don't know if you could see there, but we got Dark Phoenix. So, how much was that one worth? This one's worth $900. Excuse me. It's crazy, man. Man. Someday I want to get that one. In the meantime, I'll buy the book that has it, that storyline, because I've always wanted to read that Dark Phoenix saga, but I thought that was really cool that they had that issue right there. And it has a 9.0 grade on there. And so basically that means it's close to mint, if I remember right. Because you can go to a Comics Guild booth and they could put your comic into a plastic casing, and it's all dependent on, if there's yellowing in the pages, if there's any rips or missing pages or anything like that. That's kind of how they determine the rating for it. And so that's a really good one for that specific issue. It's from, I want to say 75, 76, around that era. Yeah, it's really cool. Some more X-Men comics. So another Phoenix one right there, Avengers and Spider-Man. Some Wolverine ones and Miss Marvel. And Star Wars comics back when Marvel used to do that back in the 70s and 80s. Some Moon Knight, more X-Men. Okay, here's another. So down Artist Alley, you never know the kind of random art you're going to see. This one was my favorite one. I didn't buy it, but I just loved it so much. It's just a squirrel riding a black rooster. I don't know why. It just really intrigued me. I thought it was awesome. It was... You just never know the kind of stuff, man. And same artist, she made this, what's in Smeagol's pockets is. So got his hands, fish bones, goblin teeth, wet shells, batwing, a knife, nothing, string, the ring. So if you guys have ever read The Hobbit, when they're doing the riddles back and forth with each other, these are some of the guesses that Gollum has. Let's see, that Gollum says to Bilbo, if I remember right. because he's trying to guess. Because Bilbo, he inadvertently says, what have I got in my pocket? And Smeagol thinks that's part of the game there. But yeah, anyways, really cool the kind of art you could see there. She also did this one. I just thought it was really cool seeing the different levels inside of a house. Not sure what house it is. I think might be Harry Potter. It looks like Harry Potter. Oh yeah. And you got the Tobey Maguire here, Spider-Man making that funny face in front of the train. And you could see I think Willem Dafoe behind him. And then this one just so disturbing. This Willem Dafoe is, I think it's Ariana Grande there. Super disturbing. Oh, I gotta love it though. Another cool thing down Artist Alley. I found this really cool artist. She did this really cool style for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's really cool Batman one and Wednesday Addams. I thought really, really cool. So I found the booth, or I found rather the artist that created this infamous meme here. And she was really cool, had some really cool art and posters and stickers and all of that. She made this other one here. And then this one. Just super funny stuff. Yeah, it was great. Okay, so this one's really cool here. Like I was mentioning earlier with the 501st, there was what's it called? There was a Halo table here too. So some of these are from ODST. And I want to say Halo Reach. It's been a long time since I played those games, but just look how incredible these costumes are. Really cool. Then we got Master Chief there. In fact, I actually have a video of him. Let me share that here. Oh, let me start that over. So cool. So cool, man. Yeah. And then let's see. So those are all the photos, but I have a couple videos here.
Oh, that's so much better.
So those are those light up dice I was talking about earlier. And then this one. So this is me playing Space Invaders on the Commodore there. I thought that was really, really cool. The keyboard was so small. I had to use like the tips of my fingers to play on it, but really, really fun. And then, here's some really cool cosplay here. So we got the whole Fellowship here and the Witch King and Galadriel, some hobbits, and of course Spider-Man, because Spider-Man was there too, right? But like I said, really cool costumes. Any more? No, those are all the videos. But yeah, I gotta say it was really fun going to WonderCon this year. Saw some really, really cool stuff, and yeah, I love going. It's a really, really fun time, and it's not as big as San Diego people-wise, but it's much bigger floor space. So that's how they're able to kind of divide it up that way. It's really, really cool. In fact, I'll show you guys some of the stuff that I got. So I'm really big into collecting pins. So I got this. I don't know if you can see it. Hellfire Club from Stranger Things. And then this Talk to Me Goose from Top Gun. And then this SpongeBob one. It says, I really wish I weren't here right now. And then it's a really cool Punisher one. So cool story about this one. So this guy, he takes old comics and then he punches them out and puts them inside of buttons. So this is actually from a comic book issue. So I thought that was really cool. Then Spider-Man. You can never go wrong with Spider-Man. Really cool Captain America. Then the last button I got was this Ron Swanson one. Give me all the bacon and eggs you have. He's one of my favorite characters. I emulate him a lot in many, many aspects, whether that be just personality-wise, politically-wise, all of that. I love Ron Swanson. One of my favorite characters of all time. In fact, funny story about that. In high school, people told me about this show because they thought I was a little bit like Ron Swanson. I said, "Who the heck is Ron Swanson?" And they said, "That's probably the most Ron Swanson answer ever." But anyways, no, I love that show. He's hilarious. Let's see some other things. So this is the booklet that I got from WonderCon. They give you to these at pretty much every convention. So all the different exhibits, artists, different mappings. So actually, this is cool. So this is how they map it out, the exhibit hall. So over here is the small press area. And then over here is the artist alley. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. The biggest booth was probably Bondi, and then Funko Pop. They always have a big booth there. They're pretty cool. I'm not really huge into Funko. I mean, I have a couple of the bobbleheads, but I don't know. I think it's gotten a little out of hand with how people collect them and stuff. Anyways, beside the point. So a really cool thing. I collect trades, which are collections of comic book issues, and this is the newest one I bought, which was Kraven's Last Hunt. And this one collects all of the comic books, not just the Spectacular Spider-Man, but all the Spider-Man comics that had this storyline. So it's really, really cool. Excellent storyline. From what my dad tells me, he loves this storyline. I haven't read it yet, but it's got the classic art in it, It's really cool. Excellent storyline. It's got the marriage of Peter Parker and Mary Jane in it. It's really, really cool. Love it. And then for old movies wise, because I'm not going to leave you guys hanging, of course, I got this here, this really cool Dracula poster that I'll probably replace that Wizard of Oz one with this one, because this is my favorite Universal Monster movie and one of my favorite movies of all time. I just really love the red coloring with it. And there was actually another one. I don't have a picture of it, but they had a Frankenstein one just like this, but it was with the color green. So I thought that was really cool too. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I had a great time at WonderCon. I always do. And I definitely look forward to going next year. It's one of my favorite shows. Yeah, but before I go, if there's any questions or anything people want to talk about in the chat, now's the time. Otherwise, we'll end the show, and then, yeah, we'll see you next time. So, yeah, got any questions? Now is the time. And before I forget, I'll let people on Twitter know that we're live right now as well. Let's see. All right. Well, just want to say again, thank you all so much for coming on today. And I look forward to, like I said, to next year's. And this series right here will be kind of sporadic. It'll be dependent on the film festivals and comic conventions I'll be going to. So the next one won't be until May, after I go to Arthur Lyons Film Noir Festival. I just bought my tickets for that. Is that today? Yeah, I bought those this morning. Really, really excited for that one. That's one of my favorite film festivals. This will be my second time going. And yeah, I look forward to that. And then see, comic book wise, and then I'll be going to San Diego in July. So I'll have a lot of videos and stuff for that as well. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for coming on today. And this has been Really Old Movies. I'm your host, Harrison Scullin. Take care, everyone.